Alright everyone, so we're back here with the level 16 raid. I've switched to Howlet, and I've also realized that he actually is not maxed on Faith, so I have to work on that too. And another thing I realized was that the Stole of the Master will probably give us more magic attacks, so that's probably going to help us out a little bit more, but we're still going to keep with Howlet here. So I kind of set up the rest of the team as well, but I'm going to keep trying to use quartet mode for now. So just kind of quickly, let me go over my vision cards. Basically the magic attacking ones. Wind attack, because 3 of my units here are wind attack. And then slash attack should help Howlet. I believe maybe Dario as well. But for Oldoa, I think she should definitely benefit from the attack on the stat of the slashing attack card. So the other thing is Trousseau has a higher magic stat than Ramuh, so I think that would help edge out a little bit more damage on Howlet. Since he's the one I'm going to try to solo with, I'm going to try to do that. So let's hop in. Alright, so quartet mode for players. Create room. And let's just auto run with Howlet. See how that goes. So I was looking through his abilities. I'm not entirely super familiar with them, but he does seem to have one that grants Earth Killer and one that grants slash piercing. So I checked, and Golem does actually have some slash resistance. And there you go. Drain Invocation is the one that increases his slash piercing. So hopefully he'll continue to be able to use his skills and not just waste all his AP. And Arrow Blade is what gives Earth Killer, so he probably should have done that first. I don't know if these elementals resist slash resistance, but the Earth Killer should help. So that it looked like it did pretty good damage. He's gonna have to, I guess, use regular attacks to kind of get through this and charge AP. So let's see how he does. He doesn't seem to be doing that much damage. And he seems to be a bit slower than what Garvel was, but also Garvel was fighting at the lower levels, so that might be a difference. So it looks like he went for Ramuh there. Unfortunately, Tetrasulfate I don't think is a magic esper, so we're gonna keep it on Ramuh, and I guess he'll cast that. But since it's a magic attack, at least it'll kind of go through Golem's defenses. So he did do much better. He's got 4 turns left. I don't know how much longer that's gonna hold up. Hopefully we could at least get to level 20. And there we'll have to make a choice if we're gonna stick with the solo and do it manually, or if we're gonna just use the whole team. I'm thinking to just use the whole team. I don't entirely know if that team's gonna work at, you know, all the way to high levels, but I will have to experiment with the team, because I think you actually want magic users, but the problem is there's not going to be any chains. So it's going to be an experiment to see if the wind team does well, or if like a mixed magic team is going to do well. Considering they made Garvel the bonus unit, I can sort of imagine that mixed magic might actually work. Who knows? Maybe magic raids are designed so that you don't really need to be chaining as much. That's something we'll just have to find out along the way. So to me, basically this whole raid experience is just kind of figuring stuff out along the way and just kind of seeing what works out. If it doesn't work, change your strategy and make sure you max everything, including Faith and Brave, which I clearly forgot to do, but we'll work on that after this set. So that should not be too bad. we'll just see how Howlet does in this one, and then I'll just fast forward the rest of them. So I believe I had 4 actions left last time, so hopefully we get to that same point. Actually, if you think about it, when the Ramu goes off, that did a lot more damage than any of his attacks. So right there, actually it was about 4,000, so if he's able to use one of his skills, then yes, it's actually doing somewhat equivalent damage. His skills are a little bit less, it seems.
How naive.
So 4 turns now. We should have a couple of good attacks. Okay, there we go. So 4 actions left after he goes. So I think that was about the same. And I'll just run the next few until we run out of encounters. And let's see where we are at that point. Okay, and we are back. I forgot that the Tomberry popped, so since that didn't count as a Golem, I was only able to get to level 19. So what I'm gonna do now is basically go into story stage 111, and I'm going to raise the faith of both Gargle and Howlet at the same time, and hopefully in the process of doing that, I should be able to build up enough encounters so I can start the next set. So I'm actually in pretty decent shape. Also, I'm going to try to just level up Howlet, and I may also do the Brave run to raise both their Brave. I don't know exactly where that will leave me, but I'm going to focus on Faith first. And we're back. So I actually realized one other thing. For Howlet, not only have I raised his faith and brave to the max, but I've realized one other thing for Howlet, and that is the fact that if I disable certain moves with long range, I may be able to get him to use bells on the first turn automatically. And so I've disabled, I believe it's called Eroga Blade. I may have to disable some other ones, but that was his longer range one. Let's hop in and see if he'll do it on his own, if he'll use the bells on his own. If not, then I will try disabling a couple of other abilities and see how that works. Alright, so throw it on auto.
How naive.
Stellar Artist. I'm guessing that's his limit break, so I might even have to disable his limit break for now. This may change like once I go into the once I make it to level 100, but actually it's also looking like he's not even doing a lot of damage. So it looks like he's gonna have to use his skills to do the damage, and I believe I actually turned off. No, I actually believe I turned off Drain Evocation, so he's not gonna be able to heal on his own. I may have to take back control of this, but it looks like the elementals are missing. Okay, so it's kind of a little sketchy right now. I don't know if this actually helped, because this may end up costing me some turns. And it looks like this guy's kiting me away from Golem. And look how he's going up with the full melee attack straight up in front of the elemental. So it looks like he prefers to use that attack, or the close range attacks, over the long range attacks. So we might be able to get him to use bells just by disabling his LB. It looks like he actually didn't really take much longer, but we'll have to see until he actually hits a magic attack. So looks like he's doing around 5,000 damage, which is a lot better. And so now let's disable his limit break and see if we can get him to use bells first turn. Alright, so I'll claim here, and then I guess I'll have to go straight to him in units. And I guess I have to go all the way into ability set. Stellar Artist is definitely his limit break. And let's see how that runs. Oh, the other thing I noticed is Windbreak Rune also lowers wind resistance. So we have lower wind resistance, increased / piercing rate, and Earth Eater. And he also has Earth Eater on this ability, which is, I believe that's the one I disabled. So he actually has a really good set of buffs and debuffs to help with the trade. So that's going to be really good. Definitely going to be good on manual. I'm not sure if he's going to be smart enough to kind of figure that stuff out on auto on his own, but that's how we're going to have to do that. So since I have bells, I think that's going to help us if we could get the bells to go off automatically. So let's see what he does on this run. Put him on auto, hazard slash. So it would be good if to leave hazard slash on if he was to actually AoE people, but he's not actually AoEing. So we're gonna turn that off as well. And again, I might need to use Drain Evocation manually just to stop him from dying. I may not have to. It seems like he's okay. There goes the bells. So at least it seems like the bells are in his sort of ability. He has the ability to actually decide to use it. So right there and then, he's already like doing ridiculous damage right now. That is amazing. That's exactly what I want him to do.
How naive.
And that's perfect. He did way better. Actually, one more hit. He did way better just by activating bells. So it does seem like bells is the right thing that we want him to do. So now that we know hazard slash is one of the moves he uses long range, we'll have to disable that. And then again, go back into units because I don't think you can adjust skills from the raid menu. So go back into units and then come back into the raid mode. So let's see what that does. Abilities. Ability set. I guess let's check Rune Knight first. We're gonna disable hazard slash. Okay, so I'm just gonna fully disable it, just so like later I can go back and see like, oh, it's fully disabled. I probably want that enabled for some other reason. But in terms of this raid, we probably don't want it enabled. So we're gonna go back in, 4 players. And I know this is like the bonus unit and you guys might not have it, but at this point, if I didn't have the bonus unit, what I would do is go into the full team mode and just run the full team. Right now, I'm just trying to get bonus medals, so I'm basically just gonna keep running that. Let's see if he uses bells. Hazard spell. So, time to disable hazard spell. Hazard spell, I guess, will make him hit harder, but he won't gain an AP on his own. So that's not going to be as helpful as using bells. So there he goes with the arrow blade, and luckily he gets 2 turns in a row. So that actually did help a little bit with the AP. So he's going to be able to keep, knocking out these elementals really quickly. And then he's going to go back and focus on the Golem. So that counter ability seems like a pretty good one because it restores AP. So they may have to increase the level on that. And so we're gonna do all that stuff together, and you guys can follow along with me. We're gonna disable hazard spell and see if we can level up that counter ability, and see if he restores about 10 at least AP. So here he is. He's still doing pretty good, even though he didn't set off the bells. He should make it to around 4, just like he was doing before. 4 actions left. So let's see. Does he get on this one? Yes, he does. Okay. So far, we're doing good. And all we want to do is continue. As long as we can do the auto one-shot, we're going to stay on auto and do the one-shot. And we're going to stay in quartet mode. Alright, so let's go back into units. Go into our boy Hellet here. And go into abilities. So I just want to say, like, I think it turned out to be, so it looks like he's got that on level 1, so he might actually be able to do a lot more with that, restoring AP. So we are going to max that. Looks like I have plenty of JP for him, and we're all set on that. And then we're just going to disable hazard spell. That should probably be here. Nope, it's under here. So we'll just disable that. And it's going to be a lather, rinse, and repeat, trial and error. We're going to keep going back and forth, changing abilities to see what helps and what sticks and what doesn't. So I am really happy that the reaction ability gives AP, because that's a really good ability to have, especially for raids. So all these like weeks of me building up Howlet is like starting to pay off, and it has me kind of hyped right now. So that to me is really good. And of course I forgot to turn on auto, and it looks like he's finally using bells. So he has an amazing amount of AP right now. So as long as he doesn't go after the elementals, we should be golden here. But he probably will go after the elementals. But as soon as he cleans them up, he's going to come back to Golem, and he's going to be able to clean them up much easier now, which is really good. So 27 AP, we are super golden right now. I think this is going to take us maybe to level 50 or so. So this is really good. Again, if you are not able to get to level 50 like I am, you want to use your full team. And again, I'm kind of assuming level 50, but you want to use your full team on auto as far as you can. Once you are able to reach the max of auto, that's when you want to start doing manual. So you're gonna eventually get to a point where you can auto 2-shot and manual 2-shot. So, or auto 2-shot or manual 1-shot. So in terms of which one you should pick, it depends on your preference. Do you have time to sit there and raid? Yes or no? If you don't, just do the auto 2-shot and use up your energy as much as you can. And when you have time to do it manually, come back and do it manually and do the 1-shot if you can. So again, it might take you might be able to reach like level 30 doing auto, and that's fine. So once you get to auto, it's up to you whether you want to continue doing auto 2-shots or you want to do manual 1-shots, depending on what kind of time you have. So that's what I would do. That's what I usually end up doing. Last raid, I got really lazy and I started doing auto 3-shots. What's good about the auto 2-shots is that an auto 2-shots, auto 3-shots is you can actually manual one of them and then kind of just auto the second one, right? So even if you're manualing and having to manually put your time into it, you're going to be able to just, manual one of them and just auto the other one, so that you don't have to, put all your so much work into it. I know it can be grindy, but if you're at least able to auto one of them, then that saves you a whole lot of time. I'm gonna see how high I can get with just Howlet, but it looks like Howlet's gonna be able to do some good work here. Even though he's not the highest bonus unit, he is the bonus unit, so I want to keep doing it in quartet mode with just Howlet, because you only need the highest, you only need one bonus unit. Like, if you have multiple bonus units, it doesn't count for anything more. So I will try to keep here in quartet mode with Howlet. So I think I'm just gonna fast forward after this raid is done and just kind of allow you to just skip over all that stuff so you don't have to sit here. But I think that's the strategy I'm going to use for the time being, is just I'm going to keep doing the, wow, good job there, Howlet. I'm just going to keep doing a quartet with just Howlet. So he could have just done that onto Golem himself, but I guess the AI saw that. No, actually, I don't know why he did that. I guess the AI saw that it would be an instant kill on the elemental, but either way, he's finished with 8 turns left, so that's actually still doing pretty good. Alright guys, from here on out, I'm going to fast forward until I finish these 10 encounters. Alright guys, we're back again. I actually went with the win team for one of the runs, and it looks like they did pretty much just as good as Howlet was doing on his own. So hopefully for you guys, you should be able to still be autoing at this point. Now, I want to try a full magic team. I actually wanted to throw Salir in here, but obviously she's weak to earth, so I will not be throwing her on here. In terms of another magic user, I'm not sure if I have anyone else that can do offensive magic that's actually, you know, up to kind of the level. So this is what I know. I went with some UR characters here, but Salir is basically mine. I guess I have a Stola, but she's I might try that actually. And aside from that, I guess I have Naya, which is more primarily a healer, and I believe I have Murmur somewhere, but she's more of a red mage. Oh, and actually I do have Adelard, so maybe I'll throw him on as full red mage. So let's just put him in place of Ildira, since you guys should hopefully have a Medina on there. Oops, that's not Adelard, that is Delita. Adelard, okay. And I think I trust in Adelard enough to, oh actually I can change it right here. I trust in Adelard enough that he can actually do pretty well. And he also has Imperil, so maybe the Imperil will actually help us a lot. What else can I throw on him? I guess I'll just throw on the Sortilege here. And I'll just click ready. I just want to double check, actually, he does have resonance with Ramu. And actually the only other thing I would want to change is this vision card right here. I'm not really sure what to use as a 4th vision card. Maybe the speed up card. That's kind of a good general card. And we actually, I mean, I guess we have wind attack, but let's take off the wind attack for something else, just in case, you know, you guys may not have a wind unit. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna click ready. So I think what I'm gonna do from here on out is I'm just gonna use some skip tickets, so you guys can just follow along directly with me. Why am I going into hard quest? So I'll just pick a random story level, and I'll skip about 20 energy at a time. I'll do 24, and that is my Brave Up team. So I actually want to switch that back to my Resonance team. So there we go. There's a Golem, and basically we're gonna try to spawn 10 more golems. So I think overall we're kind of doing pretty well. Actually, let's just run this one and then I'll fast forward through getting the tickets. Let's run with this one with the Magic team, and we'll see how that does, and hopefully this does well, and you guys can do something like this if you don't have, you know, the bonus units. Hopefully you guys have some good Magic users at this point. And you know, I'm trying to make it like seem free to play. Maybe I should take Garble out, now that I think about it. Let's leave Garble in just because my Y'shtola isn't super strong. And then maybe we'll do another one with Y'shtola and see how that runs. Does that sound good? Because Y'shtola, everyone should have Y'shtola, so maybe that would be good for her. Alright, so we still have Howlet here. Maybe I should have taken him out.
Those who stand in my way shall meet a swift end.
Don't think poorly of me.
How about this?
So there you go, Adelard with the jamming thrust, Medina here with the flare, Cosmo Plume. That's probably I'm surprised because usually she'll Cosmo Plume first, even though it only hits one person. But, okay, Howlet's definitely doing a crap ton of damage over here. And you know what, actually thinking about it, Garble, even though he's a bonus unit, he's not really like, you know, he doesn't have like, he's not hitting for weakness basically, is what I'm trying to say. And he seems like he's just cleaning up. So actually, let me see if I could change Howlet to Y'shtola. I'll do a few more skip tickets and I'll prop the next raid. So looks like they were able to do it pretty easily. Again, guys, these first 30 levels, 40 levels, if you're able to make it to 50, even better. I would suggest you just auto do that. Basically, the first phase is going to be the auto phase, and then once you can't auto one shot anymore, like hopefully you can get as many of those done in one day as possible. Once you can't auto one shot anymore, we're going to move on to the phase where it's either auto 2-shot or manual 1-shot. So let's do some skip tickets, and we're gonna then change to Y'shtola. And my Y'shtola is just level 80, so let's put this on Resonance team, and we're just gonna do 4. And actually, I don't even know if my Y'shtola has resonance with any good espers, but I guess we're about to find out. So it looks like we're getting a Tomberry next spawn guaranteed. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's actually go back here and change Howlet out for Y'shtola. And we're gonna double check her. Yeah, it looks like she has D for armor proficiency, but that's fine. We're gonna just double check her abilities just to max out any of her fire spells. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then this is locked, and I believe she has another one which may be locked as well. Is it this? Yeah, so that's a large damage. Alright, so then, other than that, just make sure she has her magic up. And amount of fronts, just recovering. So that's pretty good. So she has that as well as Howlet. So that's actually pretty good. So she seems like she's decent. Only thing is I'm probably missing Faith or something. But I think we're pretty good on her. Maybe I'll get this to as high as I can get this. And now let's go back. I don't really want to awaken her for the time being. I don't want to use up my MR rocks. So let's go back into the Golem raid and let's see if we can run this on auto with the full team. So again, hopefully you guys have Medina and one other mage and Y'shtola. You should have, I hope you should have Y'shtola by now. Like, I only awakened her to 4, So you should be able to get all her shards from the quest before. And then the only thing to double check here is the resonance, just to make sure she can use Cactuar. I believe she can. No, she can't, but she has Siren. I'll give her Siren, that's fine. So then let's leave this on auto and see what it does. Hopefully, it looked like we did well last time, and hopefully we can keep that momentum up. And for some reason, the camera angle changed.
Don't think poorly of me.
You know, we got Garble here doing around 4,000 damage. We have Adelard doing around 4,000. Medina with the 6,000. It looks like Y'shtola's going after the elementals. So good, Medina. You guys should all have Medina. And even at level 89, she should be good. That Cosmo Plume took out that extra guy. Looks like my game froze. Oh, there we go. So that's around 3,000. Y'shtola, I don't know what she just did. I think she might be on white magic. Wow, okay. So Y'shtola's doing some pretty good damage. So I think you guys should be able to still auto at this point. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch back to just Howlet. And then we'll come back. We'll do the 10 battles, and then we'll come back. The 10 encounters, and then we'll come back. All right, so let's let this one finish out, and then we're gonna fast forward through the rest of the stuff. It looks like they were able to do it pretty easy peasy. And you know, 6 turns left, that's gonna become pretty low. That's going to become pretty low eventually, but that should be able to get us about 10. And even after that, we can make other adjustments to make our team stronger. For example, Y'shtola's faith can get higher. Y'shtola, I'm not going to keep using Y'shtola after a certain point, but if you guys have her, you guys probably have her more maxed than I do. So hopefully this works for you guys. And alright, I'm just gonna fast forward from here and run some more quests. Alright, so we're back here with more raids. What I'll do is, for this, I'll just switch back to Howlet, and maybe around 38 or 39. I will switch back to this magic team, and hopefully you guys will still be doing well up to this point, but we'll find out. Oh, and actually one more thing. I think I'm going to decide to switch to Salir, switch Garble to Salir, because Salir, even though she has lightning attacks, she still has Drain and Bio and those non-elemental attacks. So I'm gonna put that there, and hopefully that does well. Alright, so let's just run through these Howlet real quick. Okay, so that was a bad idea. I should have gone in with Garble because I forgot I did it with Garble earlier, but Howlet is weak to ice, so he ended up losing that one. That's fine, we just spent 1 energy. We already recovered that energy from before, and we should be able to finish this no problem. One thing to be careful here is when you go into quartet mode, you have to finish that level in quartet mode. So if you lose, you can't switch back to the full group. So I guess Y'shtola here is fire type, so let's go with her. Alright, so we're back. I'm going to put it back onto Howlet and run everything in quartet mode. And then we'll take it from there. Alright guys, so we are back. Looks like we are barely two-shotting, and I used a 4 energy. So the problem was that Howlett keeps going after the elementals, even though they keep missing their attacks. But he wastes a bunch of attacks going after them, and he doesn't kill Golem in time. And then Golem actually ends up killing him. What I ended up doing was changing his reaction ability to Regenerator, but it actually never procced, so you know, he just ended up dying and he just didn't survive. So what I'm gonna do for right now is, since we're two-shotting at this point, we're just gonna switch back to the magic team, and we're gonna switch out Garvel for Salir. And hopefully Salir can figure out to use the right moves on her own. But if not, then we'll have to figure something else out. And I guess I don't really have another staff for her. But I don't think she has resonance with the Mind Flayer. So I will have to put her onto Behemoth for now. And we're just gonna run it like this and see what happens. So hopefully we can preserve our energy here. If not, I guess I'll just have to take a break. Okay, so let's watch this one fully through. Alright, looks like Ishtola is in the position to take out the elementals. So hopefully Salir does some good damage here. It looks like she's charging up a flare. No, Thundaga. Okay.
Take that.
I guess the AI just decided that that's the best attack, so why not? But either way, that is still pretty good damage.
How do you like this?
Okay, we see Medina with the flare, so I think the rest of the team is doing pretty good with this. And Stola with the foul. I guess we didn't get the Cosmo Plume. And Ishtola, I guess, isn't smart enough to foul just the elementals. So Salir is gonna have to go in there and do a Thundaga. Sure. Oh, just a Thunder.
Can you endure this?
There's the Tetrasulfid. And hopefully Salir doesn't mess up over here. Because she actually went back to aim at the Golem. And we have one more attack, and Adelard decides not to attack. He may have used up his jamming thrusts, but that would have basically been a one-shot if he had been able to do anything. Alright, so let's just continue and finish this one out. But I guess I'll switch back to my win team and see how that goes. So I guess Garvel does give them the edge, but he should have, even without him, this team would have probably made it to level 35 without a problem. So let's continue here. It should be quick. And let's see what they do. You can watch it up here.
Well, I will lend you my aid. You really intend to fight?
Okay, so obviously they beat that without any problems. So let's just run the win team and see how they do with Garvel. So again, maybe Eldira might do better in place of Salir because she has AoE attacks and she doesn't have that resistance going against her. If there even is a resistance, I didn't actually verify that. But let's go back to our wind team here. Oh, one thing I did was switch trousseau for Ramu just to see if that would do anything more. I think it might have, but it really didn't make that much of a difference. So we'll just put that back onto Garvel and run that. So we're at about 50,000 HP here. So I expect that to get to about 110 or 120 by the time we get to level 100. So this auto team is probably not going to be the greatest, but once we start getting high enough, we'll just be manually at that point.
Don't think poorly of me.
How about this?
Okay, good hit by Garvel there.
You worm. Yeah, allow me to beat you
And
into a bloody
although I'm not really doing much, but she's at least chaining the wind element.
Yes.
Actually, I don't think Dario's really doing that great either. So maybe instead of this wind team, maybe I'll go back to the generic magic team and, you know, put in Howlet, put in Garvel, keep Medina, and probably Adelard, I guess. And if not, probably just switch Adelard to Elvira. And I know I'm using URs at this point, but I believe you guys probably should have some kind of UR magic users. Okay, so they are spending a lot of time killing the elementals inefficiently, which is kind of bad. So I don't know. It's looking like the magic team might be doing better. And since Howlet just hit the damage cap, it may be a good idea to start thinking about two-headed dragon card or the Mind Flayer card, and it looks like they barely didn't make it. So that kind of sucks because I won't have any energy for a while to do the other run and to try out the next team. So I will have to take a break here. The only thing I want to say aside from that is once you do get into the 2-shot range, that becomes a matter of managing your energy. So what you really want to do, and why I keep stressing to get your raid level to as high as possible on day 1, is so that you can use your energy use 5 energy per day. Like, let's say before you go to sleep, you use all 5 of your energies. That's potentially 5 runs you can do by two-shotting it. And let's say in the next morning, or you might have work or whatever, you find whatever time early in the morning, do your 5 raids. That's another 5 raids. Times that by 6 or 7. Let's just say 7 times 5. 35. 6 times 5 is 30. Add that together, that's 75 runs you can do in a week if you get this to the highest level, and then do your 5 runs before bed and your 5 runs sometime in the morning. So considering we're almost level 40, I think 75 levels would be 65 levels. My math is bad. 65 levels would be pretty good in terms of being able to finish. And of course, you still have optimizations to do, so you might still be one-shotting. And this is just auto, so once you start doing manual, you'll probably get a lot more one-shots out of the deal. And, you'll probably have many other ways to figure out how to one-shot. And even if you don't, you still have all this energy. Even with the 65 for the full week, you still have energy restorations somewhere between those 2 points. So if you're really, if you work hard at this, you should be able to make it to level 100. And by the time you get to level 100, it becomes a whole different ballgame, because now you can offer up your room to the multiplayer and they can help you. Like, they will want to help you because you're offering a level 100 raid you probably have at least one good magic user, so you'll be able to be one-shotting. And even if you don't, they will, you know, the off time you'll get a 2-shot. Like, people will be willing to come in. People are more willing to come in when it's a weakened raid boss, and you can finish them off in one shot, like, very easily. So, and then in addition to that, you'll be able to, like, once you hit one level 100, everyone else will be level 100 too. So you'll be able to jump into whatever room. Granted, I know you might get kicked out of certain rooms, but if you find those raids that are half damaged, or, you know, they'll take one more run of whatever auto team, trust me, there's plenty of those out there. If you can do that in multi, you have up to 20 free runs, so you can just do 20 runs per day. So that's, let's say it takes everyone like 3 or 4 days to get to level 100, so let's say 4 days. So you have the 4th day, the 5th day, the 6th day, and the 7th day. That's 4 days times 20. You should be able to do 80 runs out of that. And that should leave you in pretty good shape for whatever the UR weapon is. I actually don't even know what it is right now, so maybe I should go and check that. In the meantime, we'll just leave that raid active there until we get our energy back. And I went into the wrong option there. And so, look at this, I already have 19,000 raid medals. So our new piece of equipment is the defense bracer, which looks like it's an accessory, if I was to guess. And right now we already have enough for 9 recipes. So then the other thing is to pay attention to the rewards. Since we're almost at level 40, we should be pretty close to that bonus rewards that they give us. So it's 4,000, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for Quartet, 4,000. So that's another 2 recipes. But once you get further along, you get more. So that's 3 at 60, that's 4 at 80, and there's another 5 at level 98. So you should have a pretty good amount of time to do this stuff. Alright, I think for today this is probably as far as I go. I will keep recording my runs and whatever other thoughts I have, but I'll make sure to post that for tomorrow. Right now, what I'll do is I'll just do my summons here. It looks like we still have our 10 times summon, which is good. But we also have this pretty cool FFBE summon, which is going to give us 5 of each shard times 10. So that's actually pretty good. I thought it was going to be 1 shard, and then you just randomly get 5 for somebody. So that's actually really good. So far 2 Dwayne already. That's 10 Dwayne shards for free. It's a pretty good deal. 2 Friarvia, and we also got Sakura. So, you know, I have some of these maxed already, but this is going to be pretty good for finishing off anyone else who I don't have. So, let's try our 10 times summon and see what we get from that. We got a silver book. No upgrade yet, but there's still a chance. And we have an MR unit. Kadia. She could be good for this raid. I don't know. Does she have wind attacks? I don't actually know. There's some magic users who only have like ruin and non-elemental attacks, so I'm not entirely sure if she has wind attacks. The randos are pretty good. And let's see if this upgrades. No. Vistral. I already have him maxed, so that's okay. Alright guys, I think that should be it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you back in the next video.